Okay.
Hey guys, it's Pete from Pete for Anxiety here, the mental health podcast, breaking the stigma that mental health is talked about again. Welcome in today's episode. Before we get started today, we need to cover a few things really quick. Let's talk about the Pete for Anxiety Patreon first off. It's only $1, guys. $1. What does $1 get you? $1 gets you into the exclusive episodes I am recording currently. I'm actually focusing on certain different diagnoses of things to show you guys what it actually looks like as it manifests in a person. So why not for $1, judges? Yeah, they said $1. I just checked with them too. See, they said it was okay. It was $1 anyways. Let's also talk about the Oracle Talk Radio Networks app. In case you can't be here live listening to me, watching this video, supporting the show, you can listen to it on the radio app. Why not? It connects us live to our 365 radio. Just go to your app stores and download the Oracle Talk Radio Network. You'll see the big old Oracle Talk Radio Network app logo right on there. Download it. It'll connect you to me, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, to Pete for Anxiety when I'm live doing my thing right here, informing the world and raising mental health awareness. So where are you going to be? 10 a.m. Of course. Come on. We just talked about this. Pay attention for once. Damn. Do y'all know how to listen? And as always, guys, like, follow, and share the YouTube channel. If you guys like what you're seeing, leave some comments, man. We want to know. I want to know if you like what you're on. You want to be on the show? Let me know. Hit me up at PeteVersusAnxietyPod@gmail.com. And as always, guys, enjoy the show. And by the way, did I mention to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well? Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure because some of y'all are hard of hearing in the back. May have to yell loud or get a megaphone or something. But anyways, let's get today's show started. Y'all have a great one. Enjoy. Guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Pete versus Anxiety, the mental health podcast, breaking the stigma. The mental health is talked about enough. My guest today is the one, the only, Whitney. Whitney, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I'm glad you're here. Whitney, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then you can get into exactly a little bit about your story.
Okay. My name is Natalie Michelle, actually, aka Whitney's Pink Drink on TikTok. You don't stop. And I have been a creator on there for probably about a year, going on a full year and a year now, about a year and a half. And I am a mother of two, a single mom of two. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm 44. I'll be 44 this year. 43 still, but I'll be 44 this year. And yeah, I'm a hairstylist. Little
There you
concept, everything.
go. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your story? I know you kind of told me little pieces of it and things like that. So why don't we lead into that a little bit? Maybe talk about some of the diagnosis things you deal with too and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So I grew up. I am the daughter of two wonderful parents. Young at that. My mom was 20 and my dad was 23 when they had me here in Atlanta, Georgia. My room here is the room I was brought home from the hospital to. Um, Granted, I have moved out of this room. I haven't just stayed in here my whole life. But yeah, so my parents divorced when I was 3. My mom was a single mom. My dad was very much in my life, but pretty much because he had to, if you will.
Yeah.
By the courts or whatever it will be. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that he didn't want to be my dad, but didn't know how to be a dad. So
Yeah.
my parents, like I said, are really super duper young. So my grandparents pretty much raised me. And both sides of my parents, my grandparents were amazing people, just very old school Southern ways, been married for forever, didn't know anybody else their whole lives, married since they were teenagers, both sides of my family. And so my parents, were not ready to be parents. I know they were. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so my mom's parents basically raised me from the time I don't even know, really, honestly, from the time I can remember.
Yeah.
Uh, and so growing up, my mom did the best that she could. She is an Aquarius, if anybody knows, So she
Drop
is
the star signs on everybody. Come on now.
and my dad is a Sagittarius, so if you know, you know. So pretty pretty much, I just grew up and just my parents just didn't get along. That's just how it
Yeah.
was. How
That's
I,
how my parents were too. They didn't get along either. They separated when I was like 10.
My mom pretty much was single mom. My dad was still involved, but he worked a lot overnight.
Right.
So we kind of have similar stories there a little bit when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, my dad was very much involved, like every other weekend. Um, I will say this: my mom kept me in sports. I cheered from the age of 5 until I was 18,
yeah,
19, and then I went on to coach cheerleading. So cheerleading was a huge part of my life. Growing up, I did gymnastics as well, and I even played a little soccer. Not more of a team sport kind of person. So cheerleading was perfect for me.
yeah,
But you're still part of a team, but you're kind of yourself. So but yeah, so I've always was in like some kind of sport or something like that. I grew up in the church. I was raised Pentecostal,
yeah,
Southern Pentecostal at that, and by my grandparents. Um, my mom married. My parents separated or divorced when I was 3, so I
yeah,
didn't really have my parents together that I can remember. But I remember just really young, just them arguing constantly. Like they couldn't even be in the same room. And then my mom remarried. She had my little brother when I was 7 years old, and my mom remarried a man that was just very narcissistic, abusive,
hmm,
really, from the get go. He more so physically abused me and my mom. Um, and not my brother, like
yeah.
never handle my brother. And so I did go to a counselor. Let me backtrack a little bit. So
No, you go ahead.
when I was 6, my aunt, uh, if my grandparents weren't watching me, then my aunt was. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just my mom always had to
Sure.
have somebody watching me. And so this was before my little brother, but my aunt was married to a man that essayed me and my cousins.
Yeah,
Just one time, but that's enough.
yeah.
One
It's
time.
enough to fuck you up. Yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, yeah. And so I grew up with that and I kind of kept it very hush hush for a long time. And so that kind of started, I guess, the mental breakdown. Really
Yeah,
honestly, looking back now, if we're going to go into that part, um, looking back now and speaking to my therapist and things like that, like that literally no trust, zero
yeah,
in family at that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm,
was a part of our family. He was my aunt's husband, and he was fun. He was always fun, always happy, always go. Just a good guy. But that, and so um, when I grew up, like I just kind of never really even trusted my family,
yeah,
and so that kind of started the breakdown of just me not believing anything anybody said. Because he always was like, trust me, trust, like that kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. No, I get that. That's
Yeah.
fucked up, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So like um after that had happened, I kind of just grew up and then my mom married my brother, my little brother's dad, my stepdad, my first stepdad, and he just made me feel lesser than, if you will.
Yeah.
So like he never literally like physically like never really laid a hand
Did he
on me.
verbally beat you down though?
Like not just verbally, but like so he would tell me to pick something. My He's in the army, so my
Yeah.
room always had to be tidy.
Yeah.
Everything had,
Okay, I get that. Yeah.
yeah. And so if he was there, like I was always cleaning something, doing something like that, and then he would never physically put his hands on me, but like let's say like he told me to pick something up, he would push me with his foot and kind of like for his own amusement or whatever it was. um I would fall over, or something like that. And then I remember this one time, like the worst was, and I can laugh about it now because I, looking back, it's kind of funny, but not really.
No,
So
I get it.
he do push-ups over whatever I didn't eat for dinner.
Jesus.
Hence,
God.
an eating disorder
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
Unhealthy
I
relationship with food then. I get that. Yeah, that's fucked
yeah,
up.
because I was always like thinking like someone's gonna embarrass me to eat or whatever. And
Yeah.
so, with that being said, the school system did fall in place in there, and I did tell my counselor, and immediately my mother divorced him immediately. But she knew better, like really she did,
Yeah.
because because I think the fact that maybe defects would have gotten involved or such said whatever, um, she immediately like filed for divorce from him. And then that started the whole thing of him trying to get my little brother from her and saying she's a bad mom, blah 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 blah. Hence, here comes um the ramifications of it's my fault.
Oh,
It's
okay,
my
yeah,
fault. My
yeah,
mom's
I can see
upset.
that.
My
I
fault.
kind of
Mom's
felt like
upset.
that's where you're leading it to, that she blame
Yep.
you for it, said it's all your fault, and when it's not. We all know it's not. That's
Right.
that's horrible parenting on her part. She shouldn't blame you for something
Right.
because you stood up for yourself.
Yep. And I didn't know what else to do because it was getting really bad. Like, because my
Yeah,
mom was working a lot more and I was by myself a lot more with him. And so, never any essay or anything like that. Nothing
yeah.
of the but like the mental just you're you're not a good person, you're a horrible
Yeah,
kid.
verbally beating you down, mentally just dragging
Mhm.
you down. Yeah, yeah,
Now
it's
granted, on
horrible.
my part, I had A's and B's the whole time that my mom was married to him because I was petrified to get anything left, you know what I'm saying? But my grades were great.
Yeah,
But my mental health, not so much.
yeah, it couldn't been good. It couldn't be
Right.
the constant beat down of just being told you're not
Mhm.
worthy enough and things like that. And had to
Yeah.
bring your self worth down too, pretty much too.
It-
At the same time, it's just fucking horrible.
exactly. And I was 7, 8, like at the most 10 years old.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm a 10-year-old now. And like, honestly, I can't even imagine to be with somebody that would ever say those things to him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and my
Maybe
mom
your mom
knew
had
this
a thing where
going
she
on.
didn't like being alone. You know, like some people have that need where they don't want to be alone at all. They have that
Right.
fear of being
So,
alone or whatever you want to call it. Basically, you know.
right. Or he would threaten her with,
Oh, there you go. That's what it
like,
was.
I take said my little brother
Yeah,
from
that's
you
what it is. She
in a
basically did what they
tough
like to say, stay together for the kids, kind of. So yeah, it's
yeah,
fucked
and
up.
my
It really
mom
is.
cannot even imagine life with either one of us, obviously. I mean, she did the best that she could, not saying
Yeah,
that she did it in the right way, but she, from her own mental standpoint, looking back now, like my mom is my mom is 100% bipolar.
yeah,
Like, and definitely has BPD 100%. Like, just knowing what I know now and telling, like, seeing the things that and going back and reminiscing with my therapist and things like that, like, it is very alarming knowing that your parent has like,
yeah.
a
BPDs
mental
is no joke, man. People that don't know what it is, it's when you line them up, especially a bipolar. Oh no, man, you got a carousel of emotions going there, man, and it's
issue.
crazy though.
And
You
then
know, and
being
you
bipolar,
being like 10, you know, you got to decide how to handle that because you're just like,
right?
well, shit, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on here.
And I didn't even tell you that, Pete. I'm so sorry. So I will go off and
No, go
tell you
ahead.
what my diagnosis.
No, you're fine. No, no, it's great. That was great, though. That's great back information for people to
Yeah,
understand because it makes a lot of sense, though. You know, a lot of your trauma started when you're a kid, too. And a
it
lot of
does.
these things
I
start when you're a
like
kid, too. That's usually what causes a lot of them to happen.
mhm. It does. It really, really does. It really does. So, backtracking, but so I have been diagnosed in the last, I don't know, like 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
So I am bipolar one.
Hmm.
So I'm bipolar manic. So I don't lay around. I fucking look like, if you will,
Yeah. My wife's got manic. She's
yeah,
bipolar, too. So I
if you
can
will,
completely
somebody
understand that.
that's on rugs constantly. Like, I'm always doing this, doing that, organizing
Yeah.
this, organizing that. And then I also have BPD.
Mm.
I also have anxiety. I have been diagnosed with some sort of depression.
Yeah.
Uh, I have OCD, which I've known for years. I've had OCD,
Yeah.
PTSD,
Oh, I
elemental P.
believe it.
Kidding.
There's no way you don't have PTSD all the way down the line, man. Shit, I'm not surprised. And I
It
kind of had a
is.
feeling that if your mom had it, you may have gotten BPD too, because all the trauma from all that stuff you had to deal with is just horrible, man. And it's
And if
crazy when it
anybody
comes to
doesn't know
BPD. It's so fucking crazy for different people, and because people experience it differently, you know.
right, correct, yeah, especially with somebody with bipolar manic, BPD
Mm-hmm.
goes hand in hand because the so what BPD is borderline personality disorder. No, it doesn't mean I have 8 different personalities.
No, that's what is it?
That's a whole
Dissociative
nother,
something they call it now. I don't remember what they're calling it now, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
BPD, it basically is just your moods. You cannot control your mood swings.
yeah,
You go from highs to lows, highs to lows, highs to lows, highs to lows. And so you can seem like one person at one point and then another person at another,
yeah.
so forth, and why they call it borderline personality disorder. I hate the name of BPD because it does not signify anything that goes on with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
can
I get you.
hear not 5 different people at one time. You're
Yeah,
yourself.
no, because that was the what is it, dissociative something. They changed it. Used to be multiple personality disorder, but they changed it to something else now.
Right.
And it's crazy because when it comes to BPT though, it's just nuts for because some people we've had a guest on here
I don't-
before, Lucy Lenore of Hunter. She came on and said that she deals with BPT as well. And she said for her, it's she questions who she is every single day. She gets up,
Oh
looks
yeah.
in the mirror, and you have to question what person's going to show up to that day. And it's hard, especially when you involve kids in it too because they
Right.
don't understand a lot of that stuff. So do you openly talk to them about it? Let them know, hey,
I do.
mom
My
has this
daughter knows.
condition.
My daughter knows, and especially now, my daughter's 16. So
Oh, okay, okay,
um I she knows everything. Like I went when I discovered I had what medically and through a doctor. I mean,
yeah,
I knew like mentally something was not clicking.
yeah,
I really thought that I was schizophrenic for a really long time. Um, but in my family, it's kind of like with the Pentecostal background,
mm-hmm.
we'll deal with it in here in this family. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
honestly, just keep it. Don't go tell nobody that you had a
yeah,
mental breakdown last year or last week or yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
don't go to therapy either, though. We'll talk about it at dinner, and then that's
yeah,
it. Kind of thing. Sunday dinner. And so, my mom, she did put me in therapy at a young age after she divorced my stepdad, my
yeah.
her first or her second husband,
Oh,
and
okay,
so she did put me in therapy, and I loved my therapist, Dr. Logan. Hi, if you're listening. But I loved her. She really honestly like made me control my because I would act out like screaming and hollering and just like being just like screaming to where like I couldn't
yeah,
even catch my breath. And because I didn't know how else to decompartmentalize like all my
yeah,
feelings, and she felt like therapy would be the way. Granted, this is in the 90s, so there was none of like the amazing healthcare that we have now for
yeah,
therapy and mental health. So therapy was the answer back then. And so I went to her for a while, and then my mom, like I said, she divorced my little brother's dad,
yeah,
and it was just her and me and my little brother. It was amazing. I loved those 2 years. And then she met my stepdad, my her now current husband.
yeah.
Um, I was 12, and they actually dated for a whole year secretly without me even knowing or any me
Well,
knowing.
you as being a parent, single parent yourself, it's hard to date
That's
with
crazy.
with
I
kids
couldn't
because
even
it's like, well, with kids it's hard because you don't want to introduce another person too
right.
fast because then they'll feel like you're taking the place of that other parent and like,
Exactly.
things like that. So,
Exactly. Yeah, and it was like, but what's funny is that so I met him on my 12th birthday at Six
yeah,
Flags. I'll never forget that day. And I liked him so much. I didn't want him to talk to my mom at all. I wanted him to ride all the rides with me and just like I was excited and to have a new person in my life that actually I could tell actually cared about my mother.
yeah,
Not just there to be there. Because my mom and her second husband, my little brother's dad, basically got married because she was pregnant. So there's that. And looking back now, I know that, and she's told me about it. But so actually seeing somebody that's actually gotten to know my mother, and later on down the road, I actually realized that they had dated for a whole year without me or my stepbrother and sister knowing. We were like,
right,
"Fuck, did you come? Like, how did you do that? Like, without any of us knowing?"
yeah.
Like looking back, because it's hard for me nowadays, like trying to date and not introducing them to my
Oh
kids,
god.
because their opinion
There's
means
there's we could do a
everything.
whole episode on the fact that,
Exactly.
dating right now is fucking horrible.
Ugh. So
Gerard, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here.
so I ended up like really liking him, and but
Yeah.
then started coming around a lot, and I didn't like him at all. And so
Well, what do you
my,
think happens?
you know what I'm saying? There you go with your yeah. It's exactly going back to like honestly looking back at my childhood, like I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like like
Yeah.
how it's like, I like you, no, I don't. I like you, no, I don't. Like, kind of sort of. And I would only like him when he was paying attention to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
okay.
I, that because my dad
Yeah,
was
I
not
get that,
really and,
because you didn't have a father figure, and it was nice to have somebody that
right.
was there,
My dad
a
was
male representation, and yeah, it makes sense.
right. Yeah, like my dad was there like every other weekend, and like I said, I cheered for 15 years, and I can count on one hand how many games my dad came to.
Yeah,
So literally two times in
yeah,
15 years. So he wanted to bring my mom to my games, and my mom started coming to my games, and then it was just like, wow, like that's cool or whatever. And then I remember everything was great. They got married. I met my stepbrother, my stepsister, and my stepsister is 2 years younger than me, and my stepbrother is almost a year and a half older than me. So we were all like really close. And
Yeah.
then my little brother. And so they got married and we moved to Atlanta from uh, a small town in the suburbs of Atlanta. And so
Yeah.
we moved to Atlanta. Like, actually, our address was Atlanta, and it was a nicer part of town. Like, my stepdad was pretty well to do.
Yeah.
Um, and money wasn't an object then when we were struggling, like living in cockroach places and, like not the best of conditions
Yeah.
before we met him. And then I moved into this huge, like big house in Dunwoody, and which is a really poshy kind of place here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And didn't have to need or want. I was spoiled rotten. Um, uh, Coming from not having anything to not having to want. I got a car when I wanted it. Um, Cheerleading, any kind of thing for cheerleading wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's awesome though. I mean, do you
yeah,
guys still
it was
now you said is he the ex-husband or is he still married to your mom now?
they're technically still married.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I was a senior in high school, and I remember my mom and my little brother's dad, so her second husband, um, we would meet halfway because he lived in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
Lafayette, Louisiana, and we lived in Atlanta. So they would meet halfway to exchange Taylor, my little brother, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hi, boo." So, um, so we would we would drop him off halfway, which was actually Alabama, believe it or not. I don't know how, but the very end of Alabama, almost to
Yeah.
Mississippi. So I remember when one year they were not just getting along, and my mom still let Taylor go to his dad's. And I remember we dropped him off, and I just felt real weird, and my mom did too. And she was kind of sobbing on the way home or whatever, and like, we shouldn't have dropped him off. We shouldn't have dropped him off. Well, we had Thanksgiving, and we went back to the same place to pick him back up, and his dad just never showed up.
Jesus.
So my little brother was missing for 8 months.
God
uh,
damn, really?
yeah. So I don't know if anybody's ever heard their mother shriek in terror before
Yeah.
at the fact that she does not know where her child is.
Oh, I'm sure she was freaking out, dude.
It's
Especially
very
that's got
haunting.
to be hard.
We sat there for 8 hours, like waiting for him to show up. And this was before like cell phones and all this other stuff. So we're going to calling him on payphones and paging
Yeah.
him, this and that. Just never showed up. So leaving that place in Alabama and having to listen to my mother wail that she had
Yeah.
no clue where her son was, nor could get in contact with his dad the whole way home is very haunting, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, I saw my mother in a different light, that the one thing other than me that she cared about more than in this world was gone.
Yeah.
And I had more respect for my mother that day than any other day.
Yeah.
And no matter all the crap that her and I, or that I thought she'd put me through, like, I literally saw her in a different light. I saw her as a mother, not just my mom, you know?
Yeah.
So, and all the bad things that I'd ever said to her, mind you, I'm a senior in high school, so I'm older,
Yeah.
and my little brother is only 8 years old at this point. And um, Christmas came, but didn't know where he was, had no clue. Even um, his dad's parents didn't know where he was.
That's crazy. Even the parents on that side didn't know.
Nobody knew. His sister, his brother, nobody knew where they were. And so my mom put out a missing child's report, obviously,
Yeah.
like literally as fast as she could. So there was a bolo, be on lookout
Yeah.
for in all 50 states, for Taylor and his dad. And I remember I had gone to spring break. My parents actually, my mom, my stepdad, and my dad actually let me go to Panama City my senior year in spring break. I'm like, I don't even know what. Thank you. Like, I just
Right. Let's
on.
go.
I didn't
So where
question.
they end up finding him though? That's crazy. The eight
Yeah. So
months? Like what? Like
I
this is
like
the kind of shit
off
you hear on TV. Like you're like, you don't think it's
it,
gonna happen to you, and then it
literally.
happens to you.
Yes, like literally, like I thought I was in Unsolved Mysteries for the longest time.
Yeah.
And not only did I hear my mom cry herself to sleep almost every night, but I cried my own self to sleep because me and my little brother were like this.
Yeah.
Like he would sleep with me because I was scared of the dark. Even at 16 years old, I made him sleep with me, and I was like, he said he wanted to sleep with me. It's fine, but like literally, like please sleep with me, like kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
So
I get that.
my
You know,
best
you
friend,
comfort amongst siblings, it makes sense though. But that's
right?
just crazy though.
And so I remember, mind you, no cell it wasn't cell phones weren't that cool yet. And so I had drove to Dothan, Alabama on my way to Panama City
Yeah.
with my friend Ashley and my friend Erica. And we stopped to meet Ashley's dad in Dothan. And I remember the phone rang really, really early in the morning. It had to be like 5 o'clock in the morning. And my parents had obviously her parents' number and they found my little brother.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, hell, now I can't even enjoy myself because I wanna get home because I wanna see my brother." But no, I
Right.
still ate and I had plenty of fun. But, like, it's more to have fun for,
Right.
And
I'm already there, man. Might as well
everyone's
enjoy the damn
like,
trip. God
"Oh
damn
my
it.
god, we found my little brother." Everybody's like, "Okay, cool." Like,
It's like,
whatever.
let's party, yeah.
Yeah. So, I remember, getting home, and I remember the traumatic part of this and which kind of set me back mentally was the fact that, I'm having to hear, like, they didn't have running water for 8 months. They, ran from the cops twice, but put my little brother in all these situations that I had to hear from his mouth because obviously
Yeah.
there was no contact between him and his dad was in jail,
Yeah.
for kidnapping because it is still kidnapping, even though
Yeah.
you
Oh
are
yeah.
custodial parents, still kidnapping. And so, he actually spent 195 days in jail, I think. And then all parental rights were taken from him. But and then my little brother lived with us until he was a sophomore in high school. And he decided to go back and lived with his dad.
This story just gets more interesting by the minute, I swear. The more we peel back these layers, it
The
gets
power
crazy.
of persuasion from a parent is crazy, y'all. Like
Y-
honestly, he knew it wasn't right. He knew he was going to break my mom's heart, but yet the crazy power that his dad had over him
Yeah.
was undeniable. So he actually moved to Lafayette, Louisiana, to live with his dad, even after his dad kidnapped him for 8 months.
Yeah.
Lived in like horrible conditions. That's just crazy. But my little brother went on to graduate from Acadiana High School, the highest in his class.
Yeah. That's
He went
awesome.
on to play baseball for LSU
There you go.
and live out his dream. And I do thank his dad for that. And I really do. His dad actually came up to me at the last high school game that my little brother had. We actually flew out there and watched his last high school game while he signed with LSU. And
There you go. That's
that's
awesome.
his dream. That was his dream. And his dad actually apologized to me in person.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
listen,
big.
you know, he's had a lot to think about, I'm sure. Jail had to be
Yeah.
some hell of an experience for him.
But coming from like being a narcissist and the horrible person that he was to me growing up,
Yeah.
for him to overcome that and to like literally could not even get it out of his mouth to
I'm sure it
apologize.
was hard. It's hard to admit when you're wrong.
That's all I want. Like I'm literally an affirmations person, so like all you have to do is say I'm sorry or
Yeah.
thank you, and I'm fine. So yeah, so he actually ended up apologizing to me, and I was actually pregnant with my daughter at the time, so I was like, "Ah," like emotionally pregnant.
Yep, I remember those days. Yep.
Yeah. So hence brings us to I was 26 years old. I had
Okay.
lived. I had got married at 19.
Yeah.
Physically abusive husband, divorced him, and sowed my oats to all ends of the earth for 3 years. Found out I was pregnant when I was 26. and brings us to um, me getting married to my daughter's dad.
Yeah.
And because we were pregnant, my family was like, you need to give that baby a name. You cannot have a baby with no last name, you know?
Yeah.
So we got married because we were pregnant.
Yeah.
Didn't know each other. Like, honestly, knew each other for 4 months, I guess, before we found out we were pregnant. And we actually stayed married for 2 years. So after I had my daughter, I don't know, this is where I'm reaching out to all the moms, first time moms especially. Um, when you have a baby, like, you literally don't even know who you are. Like, after you have the baby, like,
Yeah.
literally, along with the baby comes out your soul with everything else. And you like see your little other self go that way. And here you are with a mom, you know? And so that's where my mental health breakdown started. Um, there were times where I was in a closet naked, me and my daughter, freaking out because I didn't know what was wrong with her.
Yeah.
Um, and I couldn't even calm her down. Like, literally, I tried to put her in her car seat just to leave the house, and she would flip out. Like, this is like 2, 3 months old.
Yeah.
So the mentally breakdown of that, and the fact that her dad was still in a bad place and was still doing illegal things to make money,
Yeah.
if you will.
You can
At
say what it
the
is. It's
time,
not a big deal. Trust me. This is a safe space to talk about it. We
okay,
will not get in
yeah,
trouble. We talked about suicide on this show
okay,
several times. We even had a guy come on here, like I was telling a lot of people. He said he was talking about killing himself that morning, and we've had the discussion. So you don't really have to censor it too much, because we're doing an educational type purpose. The
yeah,
way we're coming from this side, so we can. But yeah, like drugs are hard though, man. Once you get into that kind of shit,
literally, that's
woo,
what
boy, it'll fuck you
was like.
up. Promise you.
I worked at Hooters down the street. Like, literally, I could throw a rock to it from my house right now, and like, he was my drug dealer.
Yeah.
And this is nothing. My daughter's probably listening. This is nothing I have not told her.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just to like go about getting that stuff out of the house just so
Mm-hmm.
it's not there while you're
Mm-hmm.
pregnant is just like one thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so that happened. Then after I had her, he was a lot better. Well, I mean, a lot better, and like went to work every day and da da da. And I was the breadwinner actually. Um, and then when I he had him and I like had friends like on the lake or whatever, and here in Lake Lanier in Georgia, it's a party cove.
Yeah.
You do nothing but do that party and just drink and whatever. And he had had too much to drink, and he had actually, another funny story, not funny, threw a very hot McDonald's hamburger on my face.
Mm.
Actually ended up burning my face, and I flipped out because of my first husband who had physically abused me. So
Yeah, so it
I
triggered
fucking
something.
came
Makes
at him.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I came at him, and he restrained me by this mess.
Oh, no.
I flipped out, and
Yeah,
I wasn't about to go back to that. So him and I actually ended up separating and filing for divorce. We actually did our divorce on our own. We didn't need a lawyer or anything like that. Like, we didn't have a lot of property or anything like that together. And so it was a uncontested, and it was really smooth and easy, believe it or not. Tried to get back together and just wasn't gonna work. I just wasn't having it. And
yeah,
so uh but all the while I'm still struggling with my mental health. Like, I didn't know what it was at the time, but
yeah.
I mean, I was drinking sun up to sundown. I would come to work drunk at a doctor's office. Like, it was pretty bad. And and then I actually um had I didn't have like a relationship with my boss, the doctor that at the doctor's office I worked at.
Yeah,
But it looked that way on the outside. Like, looking from the outside in now, like, I can see where people would say things. Because he was paying my rent, he was helping me out and things like that. But I was also working from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. when nobody else would, you
yeah.
know. So it was just jealousy, blah blah blah, whatever it was in the office. That's what happened. And so his wife caught wind of that, and she actually framed me. You can't make this shit up, Pete.
I'm
So
telling you. This story just keeps getting better. I'm telling you.
you
Every
can't
minute this thing goes
Pete.
on, this is getting more
All of
interesting.
this
We're going
shows
down further
your
down rabbit holes here.
your mental health. This is what happens. Like,
Yeah, no,
so
no.
I trusted him
Yeah.
to have my back when his wife put cameras he didn't even know about. Switched Medicaid. Okay, so we had our own pharmacy in this
Yeah.
I worked at. And it did have pain meds in it. It did have children's cough syrup in it. It had anything from fucking hemorrhoid cream to damn,
Yeah.
like tussin, like to narcotics. And and so she actually had switched the she would come in there and we were all of us were on good terms with her, and she just kind of held this in, I guess. And she actually told I asked the doctor at the time, um I said, I need Kaylin. My daughter was sick, and I said, I need to go get her some medicine. Can I go to the back to the pharmacy to get it? And he's like, sure, whatever. He's like, why are you even asking me? It's all on tape. And I'm like, well, because I don't know. It's just, there's other stuff back there. I'm not trying to get, whatever.
Yeah.
She had switched the medication. So she had switched the narcotics to where the everyday stuff was, and then the everyday stuff over to where the narcotics would have been. So it looked like I'm fumbling through narcotics. She's very smart. So it looked like I'm fumbling through the narcotics. And then from the videotape that I saw at the um, detective's office, it looks like I'm literally trying to go through narcotics. Like literally. If you
Yeah.
were to go back and look at the shelves weren't changed. The names on the shelves were not changed. Just the medicine was. So she
Yeah.
had framed. So I actually got pulled into, like, I got questioned by, you know, police officers in front of my daughter. And I'd opened this doctor's office, like, and he's doing very well now. Look, granted, they're divorced, big fucking surprise. But, like, um, to have police surround my condo and come
Damn,
get
girl,
me.
they surrounded your condo.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
because she said that I was trying to steal medicine.
Yeah. Well, especially certain levels of narcotics, you get the DA and everybody involved, and it gets real
Exactly.
serious real
I
quick. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
I
it's
could have
just
been in big
ugly.
trouble. But they asked to look at my phone, and I said sure. And they were like, "Do you mind if we go through your messages and things like that?" I said, "Absolutely not." Well, doctor, whoever I worked for, wow, had a problem with texting me all hours of the night.
Oh, okay. I can see where the wife got mad now. Okay.
Yeah, and so I never once answered back in that kind of manner.
Yeah. No.
I would laugh like LOL or whatever, like me is paying my bills. And he, so the detective went to the doctor and was like, "So we went through her phone. I suggest you drop these charges on her, or you will lose everything.
Yeah.
We have pictures. We have everything, every text message you've ever sent her, because she has kept every text message that you have ever sent her." And he basically told his wife, "You know, this is not happening because either you be mad or we lose everything." And that's how that ended. But going back to it, that's mentally, literally decapitating, really,
Yeah.
because my reputation was strode across the whole northern state of Georgia. I never could get another job at another doctor's office. Um, so I ended up going to hair school. And right before that, I was actually getting my doctorate in psychology and sex therapy. So I was going to an online school, and I was 2 years into a 8.5 year program, and I told my parents I wanted to do hair.
Yeah.
They were not happy at all. I would have been the only doctor in my whole family, and they weren't happy. But
Yeah.
hence I was pregnant again. So I had met this man, and it was in a very dark time in my life.
Yeah.
So after I left the doctor's office, I did go right back to a dark place in my life where I started to dabble in narcotics again, and it got really
What
dark.
what narcotics were you in though? Do you mind saying what
I
it is?
Not at all. So I was actually in I was actually started out into cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
and that ended up turning into methamphetamine.
Oh, okay.
And then from there went to Molly to pull down the effects of the methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's where I met my son's dad. And uh, him and I were just not in our right minds at all. I was actually living out of my car
Yeah.
by this time. I had signed over because the doctor's office had just pulled me away from there, and I had to find other ways to um, make money. I started camming a webcam,
Yeah.
and
Hey, real quick, Gerard said 29 years clean and sober here. Hey, man, way to go, brother. That's the way to do it.
yeah, I
Okay,
am
so
4 years completely sober from any
yeah,
kind of drug. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
um, but so um, I started camming, and
Yeah.
that was great because I had Kaylin, and her and I lived in this cute little basement apartment. And, I was camming during the day. Granted, I was doing what I was doing when I was camming,
Mm-hmm.
which was nothing crazy. Like, literally, I was a prude, if you will, camming as a cam girl. But it opened up a whole nother buttload of opportunities for me. I flew to Arizona. I did a whole spread and these online basically like cam girl sites, and
Yeah.
I am on the internet, like, I mean, honestly, um
Yeah.
good luck trying to find me now, but like still there.
Said Google that bitch.
You want to search that hard, just come, I'll tell you where it is.
Right. Just ask. I'll tell you where to find him. We ain't got
I'm
to
not,
worry about it.
yeah, I was at home for my kid, got her off the bus every day.
Yeah.
I was making plenty of money, obviously, and I was home every day for her. um uh and So I had met my son's dad through that whole mess, and I gotten back into that deep dark part of my life, and
Thank you for your comments, Jeb. I appreciate it, brother. She needs to see that. Did you see? Jeb says he's proud of you. I've watched how far you've come.
stop it.
See, there you go. Michael said I can tell because I got much older than her. Not, too, I'm guessing he meant to say not too much older than you, but
Yeah.
I'm about 40, so I'm right in the range with you. So I'll be 40 this year. But yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do when it comes to it. You're a single parent. You're trying to get
Yeah.
your ends meet. Sometimes it's not a fun route of what you choose to do. I mean, it. I love how you're so open with your daughter about everything too, because I'm sure she was like, "What?" Like, as soon as you started telling her
Oh,
some of this stuff, like,
dear.
"Sweet, I got some things to tell you, man." And
I didn't get that chance to tell her. Somebody else did.
oh, oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So
Well, now it's out in the open. It's
I know,
obviously a
but
conversational piece of
I do have to say, so in between my um me and my daughter, um you know I did kind of clean up my act, and I did go live with my aunt for a little bit when I found out I was pregnant with my son.
yeah,
um when I found out I was pregnant with Case, his dad split, like, just nothing, like,
yeah,
didn't even, said it's not true and blah blah blah. And I was kind of on the fence about whose it could have been. And I was dating somebody at the time who was not in a good place either. It was just a whole mess of shit. And so when I moved in with my aunt was like, "You ain't about to bring that shit up in here." You know what I'm
right,
saying? So I lived with my aunt through my whole pregnancy, hence where my mother and my aunt broke their relationship. My mom actually ended up moving to Naples with my stepdad. Um, we were all out of the house and empty
yeah,
nesters. My stepdad took a great job in Naples, and they moved down there, and they were living the life. I mean, living the life, private plane, whatever. You know what I'm
oh
saying? Like
damn, I believe it,
all day. It was cool for a small amount of time, and when they moved down there, I ended up becoming pregnant with my son, and I lived with my aunt, and my mom was very jealous of my aunt. Um, because she didn't want to be down there anymore, I don't think. So that's a whole side story.
yeah,
That'll make sense in a little bit. But yeah, so um I had my son by myself. It was me, my aunt, and my sister, and that's all I needed. And then, like maybe 6 months later, I was on a dating website and I met this guy. And I, after I had my son, so my son tried to come at 29 weeks, and they had put me on Lortabs,
Yeah.
not my whole rest of my pregnancy. So not only was I sober before that, now they got me on narcotics, and here you go, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I have him and I get off the narcotics, what do? I start drinking again, like heavily, like worse than before, and still don't know like my full on mental health issues or problems that I know something's wrong, but I just don't know how to go about diagnosing it or finding out. And so I meet this guy, and we had talked for a few days, weeks, whatever it was, and I called him one day and I said, I'm so fucking sick. Like I cannot even take care of my son. I need somebody's help to come take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
And our first date was at the hospital. And come to find out, like my whole body was basically giving out on me from the alcohol that I drank so much of,
Yeah.
and just the narcotics that I put in my body just to have my son. And then of course I'm like, oh, everything hurts after I had him, and I'm like, Percocet, Percocet, whatever. And he actually, I didn't know this guy from Adam or Eve, and he actually took care of my son. Um, that whole night, sat there in the hospital in the waiting room while they took me back and tried to assess me and figure out what was going on, and then actually continue to go to my aunt's house and take care of my dog. And sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. It's understandable. It's emotional to talk about these things. It's hard sometimes, man, but it's a lot, man. You've had dealt with a lot of shit, like from the beginning of this thing to where now. Holy fuck, have we done on a ride? It's like being down that tunnel in Willy Wonka, man.
Trying to hurry.
That's
I'm
like,
sorry.
and you just hear that song start building up, and it's like, and it's just, and you're just like, stop. You know, it's just like, I get
I'm
it,
trying
man.
to go in
Trust me.
order.
I've heard some fucked up shit on this show, but has to be the wildest story so far. Like,
I
God damn,
told
you're
you.
still here. That's what matters the most. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're still here. You're still here for the kids. That's really all that shit you've been through. It's wow. Wow. That's all I can say at this point. God damn, girl, you've been through hell and back. Like literally the definition of hell and back. And it's great to hear you come and say this because somebody's going to hear this story, like I told you, and they're going to feel empowered to come tell their story next and be like, yeah, I heard her say it, so now I want to come say it. And it's hard when it comes to a lot of this stuff because you have to be very, very vulnerable and shit like that, and things like that. So,
I love you.
so and Leanne says she loves your face, by the way.
Love you.
I
So
appreciate y'all being here supporting her. She really needs it, man. She's doing great. You're doing fantastic.
so this guy actually ended up putting up with me for 3 years.
Yeah.
um when times like I did not deserve him
Yeah.
at all. But still, one day basically was like, you got to do something. Like literally, I can't. This is not gonna work. And
Yeah.
um, had supported me through like any decision that I thought would be a good idea. He was right behind me, even though he knew it wasn't gonna do me any good. He was still there.
Yeah.
And raised my son for me, like when I couldn't. Um, basically told me, you gotta do something about this,
Yeah.
or we can't be together.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fine, fuck it, I'll go to fucking treatment. I don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to treatment for him, not for me, not for my kids, just for him, because I literally, after all the shit I had put him through,
Yeah.
being just sun up, sun down alcoholic, treating him like crap, cheating on him, just being just a horrible person to somebody that didn't deserve it, he still stuck by me. And um, I didn't deserve him, but I thought like maybe he would still be there if I went to treatment. So
Yeah.
I went for him. I don't know if y'all know anything about going to treatment for somebody else, but it doesn't work.
No, no. I was gonna say that too. You got to
It,
go for yourself. At the end of the day, you have to worry about you first. You know.
yeah. And so I thought, well,
Here you
this
go. Look, look. You need to read this right here. Check this out. Come on, Net. People in the UK are with you. There you go. Look at that.
thank
All the
you.
way from the UK, Stephen
Such
Lang. Thank you so much,
a
man. I appreciate the kind words, sir.
wow. Thank you so much. Um, that means a lot. So not only like literally, I know I don't deserve this person. I don't even know what the fuck he's still with me. Like
Yeah,
literally, I cheated on like I just put him through the ringer, and he did not. I can't literally off the top of my head cannot think of one thing that he had done to me to deserve it.
yeah.
And
Well, you weren't in the right state of mind though. To keep that in
no,
mind,
no,
you
no,
weren't in the right. And maybe he was trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
no,
And,
he
and,
knew
and
what
sometimes it's hard when it comes to that, man.
yeah,
Like
because I was
fun
not
fact, guys.
that he met.
People that deal with addiction, you're either in or you're out of this fucking thing. You don't go half in, half out. Like he was in, man. He thought he could handle it, and it just was too much probably at the end for him. But I mean, kudos to that man
Yeah,
because like he didn't know you that well and all that kind of stuff. It's so crazy.
it is crazy, and like literally, like he.
Here again, look at this. I love it. Kimmy, thanks so much for the kind words. I really appreciate you guys commenting these things. She needs to see these things. She really does.
Like honestly,
You're good. Don't worry about that. It's fine. Listen, it's emotional, man. You put
it
this
really
man through a lot of stuff, and things like that.
is
Steven
sad
said
to me.
exactly. Steven,
With
thank you so much, brother.
these people are in my life that they
Yeah, it's rough, man. Listen.
my potential and that they know.
Yeah,
Like there's like really not anymore. There's not a facade anymore. But like
yeah,
this man, like literally saw right through that shit. Like
yeah,
right the fuck through it. Like, but yeah, he still hung out and still was there. Still was there raising my son
yeah.
and and my daughter, and cheering me on when he didn't have to.
Exactly. That's awesome, though. I mean, it's a complete
To
random
this
stranger
day,
you met one day, and he turned out to be the person that
yeah,
that
he
had a big
literally
impact on
best
your
friend.
life and the kids' lives too. It's great, though.
He still is there with me every single day to this day.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. You still talk? Hell yeah! You want to give him a shout out? What's his name?
Yeah, actually, he just he's in here right now.
Oh, is he really? Hey, shout out, brother. Let me tell you, you are one of the many people that are put up with shit, bro. Like, thank you, because I think you're the one that understands that you either got to be fully in or fully out of this shit, man. You can't go half-ass, brother. Shout outs to you.
So yeah, and he knew when I first went to rehab that I was just going for him and
Yeah,
gonna work. And he actually like we literally parted ways. And I was like, fine, fuck it, I don't think care. Yeah, like literally, like I acted like it wasn't a big deal. Like
yeah, yeah,
all in all, like I literally was seeking this person or this couple. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Um,
No, you're fine. I
like
got you.
I was in a polyamorous relationship thinking that two is better than one. Like, no, that shit ain't gonna work either. And literally stood there, like not being a good person to the one person that was there for me all this time, and letting somebody else speak to him in a certain way that didn't deserve. Bringing drugs in his home when he didn't deserve that either. And he's still my friend.
Listen, Gerard, it's awesome that you made it, man. No matter how many times you had to fall, it's about how you get back up, brother.
And
By the way, Jeb sent you some
even
hearts,
like
by the
the other
way.
day, like I couldn't meet him for lunch, and it's just I don't know. It's just a
Jeb
good.
says that guy sounds awesome. He does, Jeb. He sounds like an amazing person, man.
He
For him to
really
go through all that and still be there at the end of everything, I think he saw the good in her. He's just trying to help
he
her
still does
to
to
get
this
there.
day. Honestly, like I still fuck up every once in a while, but like he
Yeah,
still
it's gonna happen.
forgive me because he's my best friend, and he knows just he knows me better than I know myself, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would have gotten through these last 10 years without him. Like, even though we don't talk maybe for a month or so, like not recently, but like in the
Yeah,
past.
no, I get that.
Um,
I'm terrible
I
at
mean,
keeping up with people at
like,
times, so trust me.
yeah,
I'm
like he's
juggling a
like
lot of
I'm
shit.
married now and like things like that, and like he literally he's just my best friend, and
Yeah.
I, I talk to him when I can, and I don't ever try to intrude on anything that he's got going on, and he's so successful now, and he deserves everything that he gets, and it's just like, honestly, like I literally, if I could say one person that I owe my life to, it would be him. Um,
Shout
and
out to you, brother. Really are.
you know how like you push the people that you love the most away, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mean to do that, but it's like I don't when I'm
Oh,
because
you
I
didn't
still
push hard enough because he's still here, goddammit. He's still pushing back.
I
All right.
know, I don't know.
So
He's insane because when you like do things over and over again and expecting different results, but
yeah. Yeah. Definition of insanity. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So, but like honestly, I don't know, and I don't know. I mean, I know why he's still my friend because I'm a pretty cool person, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
like, but
Listen, since I met you the first time I met you, you were really cool to me too. And like we didn't
thank
even know each other at all. So, and
yeah.
things like that. You've always been the same person. The person you see right here, guys, is the same person you see when she's live on TikTok. She's really cool. Just don't cross paths with her because you may get the ugly side to come out. And that's your own damn problem then. I don't have to tell you. There, Jebs has some very encouraging words. He says, sometimes you got to have someone there, even though when you don't deserve it. People care about you when you don't care about yourself. Exactly, Jeb. Fantastic statement, sir. And we got Stephen Lane commenting, and he says, Natalie, you're stronger than you think. Being on here is proof of that girl. It is, Stephen. It is phenomenal. She's here.
Thanks,
Leanna
guys.
says, big facts. Guys, I love all the comments. Thank you so much for the interaction, guys.
Well,
It's really
I
awesome. I love
thank
it.
you so much. But yeah. So with that, I
Give
so
her a
my
mod base.
I had gotten into a actually
That's good. You
really
always have that back source system. Here we go. We got a new one. Shanna says she's amazing. Even when you were going through things emotionally, I'm still here for you.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all the kind comments you're all making. It's so great. Thank you so much. She appreciates it too, I'm sure.
Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. You have no clue, each and every one
Good
of you.
man, definitely, Gerard. I'd say so. He's a fantastic guy, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. But so I actually ended up getting into a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
Right after I lost my best friend. Who was actually she was my best friend. She was my lover. She was the woman I was pregnant with the first time I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And we had crossed paths again and actually ended up living with her. And she actually hung herself
Oh shit.
because of
That's
her.
hard.
She's the one that had me actually go speak to a therapist after
Yeah.
all the whole stuff with me and my ex before the polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
Um, about my mental health. And after I went to rehab for the first time, she said, "Bitch, you need to go speak to a psychiatrist. Fuck a rehab. Like literally, you need to go speak to a full on doctor." Like,
Yeah.
so she pointed me in the right direction, but yet at the same time, she couldn't even get a hold of her own mental health. And she ended up hanging herself. Um,
I'm sorry. That's so hard. That's rough.
yeah,
Especially when it comes to
I
suicide. You don't know what people are thinking, and it's hard when you
I would never think that she would ever do anything like
yeah.
that, let alone not only do that, but film it.
She wait a minute, hold up, hold on.
Yeah.
Woo, this story just got even more interesting, everybody. You said she
She
filmed it?
videoed it. She videoed a video, or she videoed a message to her son before she did it. And you actually don't see her, but you see
Oh,
her
you
feet.
see it. Okay. That's
And
holy
my
crap.
dumbass watched it.
Holy wow. The
Yeah.
first time ever on this show, I am speechless right now because
Yeah.
that is fucking crazy. Like it is just like,
So
what?
being your like best friend, not only your best friend, but like the one you're in love with at the time too. Like,
Jesus. Especially
but
she
and I don't know
videoed
if
it for
y'all
the
know
kid.
anything
I
about
mean,
it
it's
morbid,
like,
but I don't know if you know anything about when people do that to themselves, but you
yeah,
don't just you flail about for a good
yeah.
5 minutes, like
Hmm.
your body's fight or flight. And to see that,
that
Crazy.
wow.
I literally tried to get
Wow.
into her casket at the funeral. Like people had to
Did the kid
off
see the video? Please tell me the kid didn't see the video.
not the whole thing, no.
Oh my God, thank
He
God. I
just
was gonna
he
say,
just
Jesus,
saw he
had me at
just
the edge of
saw
the seat. I'm like, hold on in the seat. I'm like, oh shit, tell me the kid didn't see this video because that is just what?
he no they his uncle, so her
Yeah.
brother cut it, like cut and pasted to
Hmm.
where he can just see her in her face, like at the little bit that she says to him, and you can't even understand her. Like honestly, it's she's so far gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was on, but her husband is, I like, I know did it. Like honestly,
Think you
like I know,
push her to
I
the
know,
edge kind of thing.
I know that he sat there and made her do it. Like I know he did, and because of my heart of hearts and the things that I've come to spiritually know about myself,
Yeah.
like literally, she has literally told me that he made her do it,
Yeah.
and because she would never, she's too vain. Number one, literally, and number two, like she would never film something like that. Like it's just not her. And so
Yeah.
I'm dealing with that. Not only did I treat my ex-boyfriend like shit, and then I have to deal with that and him leaving me, and then this, and then I think it's a great idea to go be with a couple that knew her, and I felt somehow attached to her because they knew her too.
Yeah.
Like I think we all three felt together because we all knew her and we were dealing with that grief at the moment.
Yeah.
So I get in a relationship with a married couple, and I am very bisexual, like I've always have been as long
Yeah.
as I can remember. And uh when I was with them, it was great at first. It was amazing. I was in shape. I wasn't drinking as much. I like literally was part of a huge family. Like they had a son with Down syndrome, an older daughter, and then they actually came to find out they had a baby on the way when we all first got together. So we had a baby on the way, like all three of us did,
Yeah.
because they had found out. And so come to find out, the baby that she was pregnant with also had a heart deformity.
Mm.
So
Oh
the
my
pregnancy
God.
was very touch and go the whole time. And so that, and come to find out, he was the biggest narcissist I've ever met in my entire life. Not only did he
Oh,
physically
oh,
abuse me,
Natalie, real quick, we got an invite here. Stephen Lang says he would like to invite you to come on my radio show and have this conversation with girls in the UK that have
yeah,
been through this shit.
absolutely, 100.
How do you want Steven to contact you? You want to give him your email really fast, or
Yeah,
we'll just send? Hey, Steven, just send me a DM. I'll send you her email if that's okay with you. Nat, I'll give him your email.
yeah,
Shoot me a DM on Facebook, bud. I'll send you over her information on how to reach her, and then you guys can link up that way. That's awesome, though.
that's awesome. Thank you so
Steven, thank
much.
you so much for inviting her, man. She's. I'm telling you, man. This is gonna make a difference for people.
I hope so. Like literally,
Well,
that's
look,
what
it already did. Look, you already got an
I'm
invite
on
from
your
Steven
feet.
over
I
here.
know
Check this out. Look,
forever.
Steven wants you to come to the UK, man. Look at that. He wants you to come talk on
I
the
know.
show over here. Hell yeah.
Bring me there. That's fine too. But
She's like,
you for my plane ticket. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
Steve, just reach out to her directly. I'll get you her email and everything too. Like I said, man, I don't want her to share it on here, so these weirdos start messaging her and things, and then
Leave me
she can
alone.
link up with you from there. That's easier. I just don't want people to start like random people start messaging her because I'm sure she already deals enough of that shit already.
You'd be surprised.
But that's awesome. Look at that. See, look at it. See, look
That'd
at you.
be
You
great.
came on. You didn't
I,
even realize it was going to happen. Steven saw you, and he's like, "Hey, come and talk to these girls." You know, it's very
yeah,
empowering. I told you.
it literally, that's what I came out here for. So that I'm done. We can end. I'm just kidding. So no,
Yeah,
there's something.
slam that mic
But
drop, everybody. Thank you. Drop the
sorry.
curtain.
So I met this couple. I'm in a polyamorous relationship now,
Yeah,
and like all three of us, that's great. Like I got this big family now. I have a
yeah,
cute stepson, if you will. Like I mean, I
yeah.
moved in with them immediately, um, and it was great until I guess the steroids started kicking in that he was on,
Oh,
like 2
okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
and
I know some is a similar story to that with steroids.
he actually ended up, the first time it happened, he actually ended up picking up my son by his head. And my son was like 4,
Yeah,
maybe 4, and I immediately, like, mama pounced on him, and he dragged me up the steps by my hair.
I believe it.
Locked me in the bedroom and essayed me for I don't even know how long. And so the
Jesus.
problem is that I was screaming for her, and she later on
Yes, Stephen, fantastic comment. Not to cut you off now, really quick. He said different country, but so similar in many ways. Stephen, I agree 100%, brother. I love how we can bridge the gap like this, man, for sure.
honestly, yeah, because all of my stories will tie into me understanding the my mental health and the capacity of what I have, and like literally breaking it down from what my therapists have done. So all these stories are getting at a point.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Um,
I try hard, man. I really do, brother. And thank you so much, Cheryl. I appreciate you sharing it with Stephen for me, brother.
thank you. But
See?
yeah, so that
This is just
began the
getting
beginning of
crazier, bro.
that,
I'm like,
which meant
let me tell you, this has just been the craziest thing ever, this story. And I'm like, I'm not saying like I'm laughing. I'm just laughing like,
I had no idea
Jesus,
this
dude.
was
Like,
it.
talk about some fucking twists. We could turn this thing into a movie at this point.
I told him to hold on and fucking put his damn seatbelt on. He's like,
Write
oh
a,
man,
you
I
know what,
buckle up.
Natalie? I'm gonna be honest with you right now, Natalie. You should probably write a book. I think you should write a book exactly about everything you've gone.
Honestly, I
I
thought
think
I
it
really
would
have
be a
thought about it.
bestseller instantly.
Literally have thought about it. But
I'm telling you 100% the journey you've gone through to get to where you're at now, and you're still such a nice person to people, even though you and I didn't even know each other when we first met, and you were so kind to even me. It's just like I think I honestly think you should. I've got some authors that have been on this show before, and if you ever need to link up with them, you can tell them about the story a little bit and see what they think.
I will
I think you should do it,
absolutely,
honestly. I think it'd be great.
like literally, like I feel like, and
I
it's
think you
nice
should write it as
because
like a memoir. Do it like a memoir though, so you can tell it from your eyes of use
what would
things
I
going
call
on.
it?
I've had like several different people on here. I've had Mia Hanks. She talked about the abuse of her husband. She's a bestseller. Erica Campbell came on. She's the one that was reading the book Mansectomy I Always Wanted and
That was
things like
all.
that, dude. It's powerful. Let me tell you, you'd be shocked
Like
on how much
literally,
people like it.
like literally, when I say you have no idea, I really mean you have no
I'm
fucking.
serious though. I'm serious. I think you should write a memoir. I think you should. You're gonna do the show with Steven and you're gonna start really considering after that for people to see. And
Literally. What's crazy is that like so after everything that happened with this couple, I mean, I went to jail twice because of them. Actually, all three of us went to jail eventually, but I
Jesus.
started. I went first, so I went to jail the first time, and for pushing her while she was pregnant, and then she's so controlled by him at the time, he made her press charges against me, which are actually dropped before the divorce. So they're divorced now. He literally does not see any of his kids. He can't see neither one of his boys. But guess who does? That's me.
Thank
I
you.
I still get
Thank
pictures
you.
of them. I know I see them.
Leanne says it best to take you big, big places. I think you should do it, honestly.
Yeah. So I still see Thor, Magnus are their names, and Emily. I still talk to her all the time. I love them so much. Um,
Yeah.
her and I went through their divorce and it was nasty.
Hmm.
He actually ended up he kidnapped us in our own home.
All
He
right, here we go, guys.
yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. This. I'm telling you right now. This is a book. I swear to God, this would be a bestseller. I would buy this fucking book without even question instantly, just to say I had you on the show. Literally, I'd literally have you cite a copy for me and date it the date of this show and say that this is where it first started. Because
Oh
I'm
my
telling you
gosh,
right
like
now,
literally
this
you
thing
cannot
would
I'm gonna call
sell.
it you can't make this shit up. That's gonna be the
Exactly.
name.
There you go. I'm serious.
Like,
I think you should do it. I think, yeah, I think you
yeah.
need to press her to do it, Leanne. Can't let her give up on this. You got to have her do
Any
this. It's
any kind
Steven's
of
enough proof for it
co-author.
too. Because the ladies in the UK could really use it. To be a great thing for inspired
I mean,
people.
honestly, I just come from a small town, believe it or not, and
Listen,
when
a lot of stories you'll
uh,
be amazed that people write books. They don't even think anybody's really going to apply to it.
I
And
literally
it
have
just takes
diarrhea in
off
my mouth when I
running.
talk about this. Literally, I just tell my story. So he ended
I'm
up
telling
like
you.
actually, he ended up.
Even Kimmy said yes. Look, we got three. Look, Kimmy said the same thing. She said yes. See, I'm telling you. See.
I love you, Kimmy. Thank you. He actually ended up kidnapping us in our own home. So he turned the door around to the bedroom. Um, and when we were out shopping, he said, "Why don't y'all go out shopping?" We're like, "Really?" Because we never really got to do that because he's a narcissist and just had control of everything.
Yeah.
And, and we came back and he was like, "Well, take everything upstairs. I got the kids down here. Well, as soon as we got upstairs, the door, we were like, what the fuck's wrong with the door? And we weren't even thinking anything of it. And he locked us in there, put like a piece of furniture in front of the door, and we were in there for 3 days straight. And hoping and praying that the kids were taken care of because, mind you, he just picked up my son by his head like a month before that. And the fact of the matter, Pete, is that this whole time, because of my mental health, I'm blaming myself for all of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening
Yeah.
to
No, I
kids
get that
because
completely.
I'm putting myself in these situations. I'm meeting these people. Not only am I blaming myself, but so is everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
everybody from my mom controlling my grandmother's telling me it's my fault as well. When I know for a fact my grandmother, because she would cry, telling me that it's my fault because I know that she knew that it wasn't my fault. And so all that crap. And so I'm like, I deserve this. This
Go
is
to and
what's
throw.
happening to me at the moment. And so basically, they tell me if you don't go to rehab, you don't have a home. And I talked to my dad. My dad's like, you can't fucking come here. I talked to my mom. Mom's like, you can't fucking come here. Grandparents can't fucking come here. So I literally slept in my car for 2 days, and I said, I've got to do this for myself. I cannot live
Yeah.
like this anymore. So
Exactly.
I actually went to rehab, the same place that I went for the ex-boyfriend. I went to the same place, and here's, I don't know if y'all, whoever believes in God or whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
um
It's all right. It's all right. It's rough. Listen, you're coming to fruition. You're understanding what's happening. It's God talking to you. Like, sometimes you got to hit rock bottom, and it's what it
that's
takes sometimes for you to realize that you got to get some help.
and so my aunt, so going back to my aunt's first husband, the one that essayed me and my cousins when I was 6 years old,
Hey Ed, how you doing, brother?
she had remarried another amazing person that she had done so wrong. He left her. He would he was
I'm
a
sure you've done
nurse.
other things hard, man, but I'm glad you get clean, brother.
He was a nurse there at the time.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he's a nurse at the recovery clinic you were
yeah,
going to? Oh,
yeah,
okay. This gets
he
interesting now.
owns it
Okay.
now.
Ed, in
He owns
case you haven't
the
seen
whole.
the beginning of this thing, man, you need to go to YouTube and watch. This has been a crazy story, man. I'm telling you what. This woman here is inspiring people. Trust me.
Thank you. Yeah, so he literally, I didn't see him for the first 2 days, and
Yeah.
then he walks in my room and he goes, Natalie.
That's awesome though. You had somebody there you knew at least, so the comfort level went up a little bit. But he had to see at your worst though.
Perfect person to see there because this man is so amazing. He
Yeah.
literally is the most amazing dad to my cousins who
Hmm.
have been through their own shit. Like,
Yeah.
every single one of them have been to rehab, have done their
Yeah.
own, like my whole family. Like, literally, it's literally on the outside looking in. My family looks like the most beautiful, just sweet little family. But on the inside, not one of us, only two of us, and my whole family of fucking 42 people have been married and had kids. All of us seem to think it's right to fucking get pregnant and then get married. I don't know why. Whatever. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you think you think you know it all. It happens.
people in my whole family that I know of that can go by the rules. But
Yeah.
yet, that's where it comes down to because my grandparents have accepted all of us.
Yeah.
They've never once shunned us or turned us away.
Yeah.
And that's why, I guess, why he fits so well in my family because he knew what I was there for. He knew I had ideation. He knew that I was going to off
Yeah.
myself if I didn't go there. Or,
Yeah.
when I wouldn't be truthful about it to anybody else. Because if you have ideations, like literally, they put you in a whole other category of people. And I actually, so I actually, once they found out that I was bipolar one, and that I had borderline personality disorder along with OCD, anxiety, depression, PTSD. I thought I was schizophrenic because I was hearing voices.
Yeah.
Um, and I actually took 45 gabapentin in outpatient one day. So they re-admitted
Holy
me.
crap.
Yeah.
I could
Nobody
just
knows that.
imagine the effect that it would had on you because I take some from my neuropathy now, and I
Yeah.
get kind of like after a few, I'm just like, ugh, that many?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
45. I took 45 of them within 3
Jesus.
hours. And
God damn.
I literally was just done because like
Yeah.
I didn't know where else to go. And
Oh, we got Ashley says she loves you, girl.
I love you, boo. I love you so much.
Ashley,
And
thank you so much for coming in.
love you so much. Thank you. And so yeah. So I stayed another, I don't know, 14 days there. So that's
Yeah.
third time. Because I was in outpatient when I did that. I just literally was sitting there and I just couldn't take it anymore. Like I literally was like, fuck it. And then I just started to like be all weird and stuff. And they took me in another room and asked me like what I'd taken. And I was new to the gabapentin and I was like, wow, I don't even know how many I took. And they were like, well, is the bottle here? And they looked at the date and added it up. And so then you're put in a whole nother category if you do that. By myself.
That's
Like in
I
this whole
bet you
other
were.
room, like
You're
looked at.
somewhere interstellar at that point, I'm sure. That's
Yeah,
just
like that.
wow.
If you want to talk about rock bottom, that's fuck is rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I I did the program and I got out and I didn't drink for I don't even know, like I didn't drink or do drugs again for 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
I drank probably 2 years after that, but never like sun up to sundown like I was. Like when me and my ex were together. Like I literally would try to sneak alcohol from him
Hmm.
at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was disgusting. Like literally, like not thinking that he would know or
Yeah.
anything.
Well, you're an addict at the time. There's nothing you can do about it. It's
Yeah.
just the
And
things you
and
do. I do kind of weird shit like that too myself. So like, but I'm like, I do it with sugar because I'm diabetic. So
that's
my
so
wife likes
funny.
to point that out to me. She's like, you do weird shit like a crack, like an addict would do. You
Yeah.
hide things. I'm like, yeah, I do. Thanks for making me feel dumb.
You know what's funny is that like so when I actually was doing all the drugs and stuff like that and like the stuff that was messed up, like
Yeah.
so I didn't even notice the stuff that I was doing back then, but by God, I notice it now. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. It's so weird. Like I have more tendencies now not doing that than I did when I did it. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
so strange. Like I literally thought something was like seriously wrong with me because everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's on the drugs again." Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I don't know why I stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. Like
Yeah.
I literally don't.
He's just a night owl. That's all.
Yeah,
Kimmy
it's
says
funny.
she's proud of you, by the way. She wants to let you know.
Um, I literally have more tendencies or side effects, I guess, now
Yeah.
than I ever did on them. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. Like I could fall asleep doing meth, like literally, like nobody's problem. Be like,
Yeah.
cool, like, and then be like 5 minutes later, like I don't even know. But so it's crazy because you have to constantly prove yourself to people
Yeah.
on their own accord, and you can't be mad at them. Like you honestly cannot be mad at them. Like I cannot be mad at my daughter for
For messing up. It happens, you know? Like,
you know
look at
not
this. Look at it from this way. She knows a lot, and if after she watches this, she's gonna know a hell of a lot more now.
she's
But
fine.
at
No,
least
she
she
knows
she
everything. Like I don't
understands.
literally have not held anything back from her. Like
No, and
and
that's great though, because you're open to talk to her about those kind of
yeah,
things. And I think that's a lot better that you're not trying to hide it.
right. And I
And
want her
and
to know
things
like
like
I
that.
truly do fucking understand. Like I really
Yeah.
do. I do get it.
Yeah.
And like people might say this fifth, third, or the other that I'm not the best mom, but you know what? I'm the best mom to her.
Yeah.
And
Well, listen, fuck
I
everybody
have
else's
great
opinion,
kids,
okay? Anybody
honestly.
that
Like I don't know
passes
what
judgment on other people, go fuck yourselves, honestly.
right.
Okay. And I don't
That's
care
what
if that
I say.
upsets anybody, but don't pass judgment on
That's what
her,
I say.
dude. After
Honestly,
after
I'm
this
like, I don't
ride of an emotion roller coaster we've gone on together here, fuck y'all, okay? Listen, this woman has gone through hell, literally fucking hell. Probably seen the devil, met him, vacationed with him, came
I met him
back,
a
and
couple
she is
times.
still here with us now. It's just
I mean,
like I'm telling you, this is the craziest story I've ever had come on this show. I'm so appreciative you came. I should have had you fucking sooner. Let's be honest here right now. Should have had you sooner. How did I know it was gonna be this good? I was gonna, because this is great. Because, like I said, I'm telling you,
yeah,
book, man, definitely a book because it'll inspire young ladies out there. Target mostly
I,
teens to
I
old,
would love that.
adults and on. You know what I mean? And it'll be inspiration from them to understand that. Hey,
And it
listen, even
like
though you hit the
literally
bottom,
does
you come
not
back up.
it gets easier, but it doesn't. Like the last
It
thing
is why we stay
probably
up. You're right.
that the fact like, oh, Kimmy, I love you. The fact
Yeah,
that
Kimmy's great. I love
so
these comments, Kimmy. Thank you so much.
so I went back to school. I think
Hmm.
so I
Yeah.
went back to school a year ago. It was a year
Hmm.
ago, the 17th of March, and I had started getting burned out on doing hair because I graduated from hair school, and
Yeah.
got my license, and I'd been doing hair for 10 years,
Yeah.
and I thought it'd be a great idea for me to go to school to become an educator. So the latest thing that's happened that's really made me question and almost set me back a couple of times is the fact that so I'd been going to the school for almost a year,
Yeah.
and the school closed out of the blue on a Sunday. Um and, there's three campuses. They all three closed that day, and it's now under federal investigation. And um,
Which
meanwhile,
school was it?
it's called Health and Style Institute.
Yeah. See, I went to Westwood and they're they got investigated too. It's like a lot of these schools are doing shady things. Or
It's
DeVry was, I think, was another one too. It was crazy.
it's crazy. Like honestly, like, and I told everybody. I said because they started doing me wrong, like real bad. Like after I had
Yeah.
COVID, and I had COVID in June of last year, and after I did an LOA, and they just said that the LOA didn't go in place because the administrator left. I still filled out the fucking paperwork. Why can't the new administrator put? Anyways, so they pushed my graduation day back, and told me all these other things, and I wanted to quit so many times, and I didn't go to school a bunch of times when I should have, but yeah, I still kept going,
Yeah.
and um, come to find out, uh, they're using my student loans, and they're pushing back my date as I don't know how they did it because of my student loan should have given out at 24 days,
Yeah.
which they said I've missed 42. So, which is not true. Because 21 of it was from my COVID. So I had a LOA in place, but that never went in place. It's a whole mess. But
Yeah.
anyways,
No, I
I
agree.
just graduated 3 days ago, and
Awesome. Hey, there you go.
but I didn't because the school closed
Hey.
2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
So I can't get my transcripts, and neither can any of the other students. And we wonder why poverty levels are so high. And these kids have been going to school for a whole year, and now it's ripped from them. And literally, people are like, "You're so nice because you're more worried about your educators or the other students because I have my license. These kids don't have anything."
Yeah.
I
That's
feel so
awesome.
bad.
That's powerful too. That's really powerful.
I feel awful for them
It
because
is. It's horrible. It really is. It's
that
just
they've
it's
had.
fucked up because it seems to be a little more too much of a common occurrence going on now because there's so many of them coming out that they were doing something they shouldn't be doing and it
Right.
was real shady, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's shade. Like they can't even tell me where my transcripts are. Like my shears that my grandmother gave me are still in the building. They won't let us get our own stuff from the school. Like it's crap, and it's not our fault. And it's just like I feel bad for these kids because I already know two of them have already gone back to jail.
Yeah.
And that would have never happened if people wouldn't have been so selfish. Um, like literally, just think about what you're doing because your actions, other people,
Mhm.
I just feel so bad for them.
Yeah, it's hard. It really is. Hard to see you
The
spend so
mom
much time
were
invested
like,
in that, and then it just crumbles.
like honestly, like there's young moms that were depending on that school
Yeah.
that were about to graduate with me. And I thought I was going to graduate in May. And my loan officer was like, no, you were supposed to graduate March 3rd. I'd be teaching by now. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing I wanted to do. And to have it like ripped from you. Like,
Yeah.
so, but I'm still here. That's what I'm trying to get at is that
Oh
I'm
yeah.
still here. My name's Natalie Michelle, and I have bipolar disorder 1.
There you go, girl.
I have anxiety,
That's
and I have BPD. And if I can do it, fucking you can do it. Trust me. Literally. Trust me, you can fucking do it. It's not the end of the world. And I just literally I came on here to be an advocate for people, and it's okay to have mental health issues. It's okay. You'll be okay, girl. Bitch, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like honestly. So
what she
that's all.
said. That's what she said. All right, guys. Well, I think it's time to start wrapping up this episode. Natalie, thank you so much for coming. Had I known this story was going to go where it went to, holy shit! Like I'm serious. Kimmy's gonna, Kimmy and them are going to hold you to making a book. There, damn it. Okay, so I'm serious. You need to
Yes.
do it. I think you should. I will definitely, Stephen, if you're still listening, I'll reach out to you with her email and everything, how to get a hold of her and stuff like that. Like I said, I just don't want weirdos sending her fucking messages because I'm sure she gets it enough as it is. And listen, one more time, one question for you. If you could break the stigma about mental health, what would you say to someone? Like, say someone's in your like similar to your situation. What are your words of encouragement?
Don't let other people talk you down from what you know is going on in your own body. Trust your gut. Literally, I knew something was wrong with me, and it literally took myself convincing myself that it's okay to have mental health issues. Literally, it's okay. Like, it's better off knowing than not knowing. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those powerful words.
I hate
This is
you.
awesome. I'm so glad you came into this. This was great. I'm telling you, like this was just like a hell of a ride. Let me tell you that much. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode of Pete for Society. If you all want to see Natalie, she's live on TikTok as Whitney. What is it? Whitney Peak Drink, right? Isn't that what you said it was?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and say hi. Tell you saw her on the show. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. I know she's going to be on Steven's show, so we'll try and get that information out so y'all know where to find her on that one when she gets on there. And I'm Pete for Society. I'm pretty much on everything. I've down to TikTok, X, all that great stuff, all the things like that. Fantastic guest, Steven, by the way. Thank you so much, brother. I'll definitely reach out right as soon as we're done here. Guys, I'm all the way down from Spotify, all the way to iHeartRadio. Guys, if you're seeing this now, it'll eventually be on the audio side. I'll let y'all know when it drops. And like I always say, it costs nothing, absolutely nothing to be kind to somebody. One kind act you can do can save somebody's life, or hell, you can make their day. I'm Pete for Anxiety, signing off saying, hey, don't ask how your day is. Ask how your